Sounds like the mics are working.
Good.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the Charlottesville City Council Forum on Environmental Issues. I'm Jessica Gephardt and I'm the political chair for the Sierra Club's Piedmont group here in Charlottesville, and I'm going to be tonight's moderator. Tonight's forum has been organized by the Sierra Club in partnership with a number of local environmental organizations, including Appalachian Voices, 350 Central Virginia, Virginia Organizing, Transition Charlottesville Albemarle, Community Bites, Healthy Food Coalition, Rivanna Conservation Society, Living Energy Farm, Eco Fair Committee, and Slow Food UVA. So hopefully you got all those. Tonight's forum is a nonpartisan event, and all of the announced candidates who are going to be running in November are participating tonight. And tonight's event is going to be broadcast on Charlottesville TV 10, and video of the event will be available online. So the 5 Democratic candidates tonight, Wes Bellamy, Bob Fenwick, Melvin Grady, Adam Lees, and Kristin Szakos, will be competing in a June 11th primary. The winners of the primary will then compete along with the Republican candidates, Mike
Farruggio.
Sorry, I practiced it before. Farruggio and Charles Weber for the 2 seats on City Council up for election in November. The Charlottesville City Council plays an important role in local environmental issues ranging from land use to transportation to sustainable living. We hope that tonight's forum presents an opportunity for the candidates to share their positions and ideas on local environmental issues. We also hope that it gives a chance for the environmental community here to share which issues are most important to them with the candidates. Tonight's forum will begin with a 2-minute introduction from each candidate, followed by 4 questions submitted by members of the co-sponsoring organizations. The candidates have been provided these questions in advance and will be allowed 1.5 minutes to respond to each question. During the second portion of the forum, we will be taking questions from the audience. These questions will be submitted on a note card. There are note cards available in the back with pens, and John Cruikshank and Dave Redding will be collecting those. So you can just hold the card up sort of in the air or pass it to the end of the aisle, and they'll collect those, look through them, and pick a few of the audience questions for us to go over then. After the audience questions, we're going to allow each candidate to have a 1-minute closing, and then we will wrap up. Our timekeeper down here is going to be holding up a yellow card when there are 30 seconds remaining and a red card when time is up. So hopefully everyone can see those, and the total time for the forum should run just under 2 hours. In addition to thanking all of our co-sponsors for this event, the Sierra Club would also like to thank City Hall for allowing us to hold the forum here in this venue, and Joe Rice for his help with all of the audio-visual equipment, all the candidates here for their participation, and all of you for being here tonight. So with that, we will begin introductions with Mr. Bellamy, and we will rotate this first speaker for each question. So, Mr. Bellamy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Smile, guys. We're gonna have some fun tonight. My name is Wes Bellamy, and first and foremost, I like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life. I'm a teacher at Albemarle High School. I've been here a few years now. I also direct a nonprofit organization entitled HYPE, helping young people evolve. HYPE is a boxing and mentoring program for young boys and girls. We have about 24 kids. We also have a Stepping in Women Empowerment component for the young ladies. We've been able to raise our cumulative GPA from 1.8 to 3.2 in about 15 months. So as you all can pretty much see, I'm really, really big on education. I'm also very big on economic development. Charlottesville currently has 29% of our families living below the poverty line, or they're not self-sufficient. That's something that has to change, and I have a plan on how we can do so. If you guys want to meet with me at any time, we can go over it. As I alluded to earlier, I'm really big on education. Once again, I feel like we need to place more emphasis on our pre-K and 3-year-old and 4-year-old programs, but also provide some more guidance from council, and we can't really tell the school board what to do, but we also could suggest certain things and partner with them and work with them a little bit more to improve our local city schools, who I think are also fantastic. And lastly, I'm really big on culture. I think Charlottesville is a diverse place, but we always can bring about more diversity. We can improve our arts programs. I'm really big on community engagement. As some of you all have known, because I've worked with many of you in our big coat giveaway, we've given away nearly 1,800 coats over the past 2 years. So those are the same things that I plan to bring to council. A lot of energy, innovative mindset, and a person who wants to get things done. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. My name is Mike Farruggio. Good evening. My name is Mike Farruggio, and I'm here to ask for your support as I run for City Council. Probably, or you may be asking yourself, why should you support me? The answer is our common concern for the environment, because I will vote for positive long-term improvements for our city and our region. A healthy environment is in the best interest of every citizen in the community. I believe that it is my duty to be a great steward, not just a good steward, of all that we are given: the land, the animals, plant life, and all of our resources. This belief was formed early in me as a young kid when my mom and dad encouraged us to be out in the environment and to be out and enjoy nature. When I was a kid, it started when I was young, and we had all sorts of pets. We had fish, gerbils, hamsters, cats, dogs, birds, snakes, ducks, and even pigeons. My parents bought a house that had no backyard, but a park. It was a natural park. Milburn Park was between Freeport and Baldwin. It was literally right over my fence, and it was 1.5 miles long riparian paradise that had a multi-use trail, sports and playing fields in it, brackish water creek that came up the whole creek all the way to the end. My brothers and I, we fished there every summer for snapper, which was baby bluefish, eels, blue claw crabs, and carp. We enjoyed feeding the ducks that were there. There was all sorts of ducks that lived in that creek. There was also swans and Canadian geese. As a child, that was my playground. Every day I played there. As a young teen, I joined the Boy Scouts and began a lifelong adventure in backpacking. Every month I look forward to our trips up to Bear Mountain with the Adirondacks, where I would experience nature and always look to hopefully find a bear or a deer, which were always very eluding. We never got to see that. As an adult, I've continued this into my adult life. I still backpack all the time, and I wish the same for my family and my community. I raised my children with the same desires, and I bought a house on Monte Vista Avenue with the, oh, I'm sorry, there we go. Great card over
Mr. Fenwick.
Hi, Steve, I has 30 seconds when you do the yellow one. 30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds left when you get here.
Okay. Good evening. It's great to see so many familiar faces here. I'm Bob Fenwick, and I'm an environmentalist. I've done this 3 times up here. Now, and I think most of you know me from clearing Rock Hill Garden or trying to protect McIntyre Park, these issues that I've been involved in. So I'm going to use my intro to get a few things off my chest about environmentalism, because I believe it's economically, there's an economic benefit to environmentalism. A lot of people don't see it that way, and I'll show you why I say that. You can go to Lowe's and you can buy mulch, which should be a natural product. They give you 3 choices: brown, black, or red. This is red mulch. Now, it does not come from a redwood. If it did, somebody would be in jail, or should be in jail. They have painted mulch. And that's, I'm not making this up, it's red mulch. And there's a warning on this label that says when you spread it, you have to use gloves. Now, okay, what's up with that? When I was a child, my mother would wash the fruits and vegetables, and that was great. And then Monsanto changed the formula so you couldn't wash off the pesticide. Now they put it in the vegetable. They put it in the corn. When the children, who everybody likes to see kids eat corn, that's what they're eating. But the best thing is my clean coal. This is a hunk of coal. And everybody in this room has seen the advertisements, clean coal.
Thank you, Mr. Fenwick. Mr. Grady.
Hello, my name is Melvin Grady. I'm a Charleston native. I'm 45, July 12th, so I've been here for 44 plus years. And I went to school here, city schools, Greenbrier, Walker, and Charleston High School. I graduated in 1986. I attended the University of Virginia, and I finally got through after a long stretch of schooling with a mathematics degree in 1994. I've been teaching math for 15 years. And the last 2 years have been in Butte Middle School, where I currently teach algebra and Math 8, pre-algebra. I've also been in the National Guard for 13 years here in Charlottesville. And I've been an adjunct instructor at Piedmont for 10 years. So I've really been around Charlottesville in different capacities. I'm running for 3 C's, Charlottesville City Council, and I also have 3 C's for my agenda. I would like to get some things done here in Charlottesville. First is children. The second is community, and the third is communication. First off, children, it has to be done. We need to increase our pre-K education. If we don't do that, we're going to constantly be behind. With the achievement gap, students fall behind in school. It's a recurring theme. Also, we need affordable child care. If I can't afford to go to work, I have child care, I can't afford it. If I can't go to work, I can't afford child care, so I can stay home like that. Community, I support small businesses. We need a stronger workforce development center right here in Charlottesville, in the city itself. And also, we need to expand on community gardens and farmers markets. And I'll go into that later. And lastly, communication. We need better communication between our residents.
Thank you, Mr.
Between
Lees.
city members.
Mr. Lees.
Thank you all for coming out here tonight. My name is Adam Lees. I'm proud to say that I am the graduate of 2 Virginia schools, recently UVA with my master's, and from Hampton, Sydney. My mother's a native Virginian. Our family goes back as far as you can think to count. And they raised me, my mom and my dad. My dad is a retired Marine Corps colonel. They raised me with the mantra that if there's something that needs doing, don't wait for someone else to do it. You have the duty to do it if you have the ability to do it. And that's part of the reason that's guided me as I've run for city council. I started this campaign while I was writing a master's thesis and teaching at UVA, and I continued it. I look at this ring from my undergrad because it starts with "on my honor." Nothing I say is a lie. I want a government that's accountable. I want a government that goes out to its citizens. The 3 issues that I see City Council not having dealt extensively with are improvement of the public transit system, of which I am a writer, providing job opportunities for our young adults in our community whose unemployment rate is 3 times the citywide average, and finding a dignified solution to homelessness, among which will address the mental health needs of that community, 35% of whom have such needs. Most importantly, I listen. This will probably be the most, if I'm elected, that you will ever hear me talk about myself. I promise. I'm here to hear what you have to say. I'm here to learn from y'all. That's what's helped me be, I think, a successful candidate. That's how I've learned so much. That's how Charlottesville has become my home and will stay my home, God willing. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Ms. Szakos. Thanks.
So I'm Kristin Szakos. I am the Vice Mayor of Charlottesville and a member of City Council. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of chance to talk about issues later, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of synopsis about kind of who I am outside of council. But I will say that I'm passionate about issues of access and equity. I have a very professional background. I studied for the ministry and then ended up switching gears and got a master's degree in journalism from Northwestern University's Medill School in Chicago. I worked at Associated Press and for a newspaper as a reporter and later edited a regional journal called the Appalachian Reader about community organizing throughout the Appalachian region. I've also worked as a grant writer and a newsletter editor for nonprofits, and my current job is as editor and proofreader for translations from French to English for an international translation agency. And I found that journalism is a really good training ground for a city council. You have to research and understand very complex issues very quickly. You have to understand them well enough that you can communicate them to people who haven't done that research. And it's something that I found has served me well on council. My husband, Joe Szakos, is over here. He's director of Virginia Organizing. And we have 2 grown daughters and a dog, or 2 dogs and a cat. And over the years, we've had 4 foster children. And as a family, we've done lots of hiking and camping and traveled a fair amount. And we lived 2 years abroad, one in Hungary and one in France. Now I have to totally read because I serve as chair of the Regional Jail Authority Board. I'm a member of the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization, the City Scholarship Board, the Housing Advisory Committee, the Disproportionate Minority Contact and Juvenile Justice Committee, the City's Audit Committee, the Planning and Coordination Council of the City, University, and County, the City of Providence Steering Committee, the Board of UCare, Friendship Court Advisory Committee, the NAACP, and Trinity Episcopal Church. And I'm a representative of the City to Virginia First Cities, a member of the Statewide Advisory Board for Roseme, an organization for LGBTQ youth, and I'm vice chair of the National Council for Youth Education and Families. And I also sing with a local women's a cappella group called Fire.
Thank you, Ms. Szakos. Mr. Weber.
Thank you. My name is Buddy Weber, and I ask for your support for my campaign for State Council. I've been quietly advised by some to stay away from this forum because the Sierra Club has become too politicized and would never endorse a Republican. I hope that's not true because I really believe that our core values and our common interests outweigh our political differences. I'm 67 years old and was an environmentalist at heart all my life. I was 16 years old and a veteran of numerous camping and backpacking trips by the time Rachel Carson published Silent Spring. To this day, I'm an avid backpacker and outdoor adventurer. Mike Farruggio and I are members of a local backpacking group that ventures into the wilderness at least 3 times a year. Just a few weeks ago, Mike and I and others spent 3 days in the Dolly Sods Wilderness in West Virginia. And every few years, we plan more ambitious expeditions. Last year, Mike and I trekked 120 miles through the Swiss Alps. And several years before that, we trekked through the Pyrenees, traversing from France to Spain and back again. I first read Joseph Lacan's Journal of Rambling Through the High Sierras of California while backpacking in the Andes Wilderness. Joseph Lacan and John Muir were close friends. I've been face to face with moose in the Grand Tetons, with buffalo in Yellowstone, and rattlesnakes in Southern California. I return from each trip with a renewed sense of humility, knowing that there are forces of nature over which we have no control and will persist long after we are gone. Most importantly, I understand why John Muir referred to the peaks of the Sierras as sacred summits. You simply cannot appreciate the majesty of God's creation until you experience it firsthand. Preserving and protecting this earth we inhabit is not just a politically correct thing to say, it's a sacred duty of each and every one of us. Thank you.